So the story we're going to read tonight, or at least one of them, is called Gambling Hansel. And I assume that it's the same Hansel from Hansel and Gretel. This is the original Brothers Grimm stuff, by the way, so it's all really dark and stupid. And that's what I love about it. So, I think it was page 295. Let's check this shit out. There it is. As Bruce Lee makes his way to the octagon. Gambling Hansel. Once upon a time, there was a man who did nothing but gamble, and for that reason, people never called him anything but Gambling Hansel. It's a terrible name. And as he never ceased to gamble, he played away in his house all that he had. Or he played away his house and all that he had. He gambled his fucking house away. That dick, where's he gonna live? Now every day before his creditors were to take his house from him, came the Lord and St. Peter, and asked him to forgive them, or to give them rather, shelter for the night. Then Gambling Hansel said, "For my part, you may stay the night, but I cannot give you a bed or anything to eat." Probably because he gambled all of his shit away. So the Lord said it was just to take them in, and they themselves would buy something to eat, to which, why would God need a place to stay? Okay, sorry. So the Lord said that it was just to take them in, and they themselves would buy something to eat, to which Gambling Hansel made no objection. Thereupon St. Peter gave him 3 groschen? I don't know what the hell, is that a form of currency? I'm not a medieval expert, I only drink their liquors. That is good absinthe. Huh? It's good. Bought that bottle for $40. No gamble there. So Gambling Hansel went, but when he reached the house where the other gambling vagabonds were gathered together, they, although they had won all that he had, greeted him clamorously and said, "Hansel, do come in." "Oh," said he, "do you want to win 3 groschen too?" And at this they would not let him go. So he went in and played away 3 groschen also. So he just gave away his rent money. Meanwhile, St. Peter and the Lord were waiting, as he was so long in coming. They set out to meet him. When Gambling Hansel came, however, he pretended that the money had fallen into the gutter and kept ranking about it all in while to find it. But our Lord already knew that he had lost it in play. St. Peter again, why would you lie to God? If he's all-knowing, why even bother? Why are you taking in God and giving him shelter when he created the earth? Couldn't he make himself a house? And why are you lying to him if he's all-knowing? God damn, Gambling Hansel, get your shit together. Fuck. So, for a long time he would not believe... Oh, wait, I skipped a part. My apologies. Let me go back a little bit. St. Peter again gave him 3 groschen, and now he did not allow himself to be led away once more, but fetched them the loaf. Our Lord then inquired if he had no wine, and he said, "Alack, sir, the casks are all empty." But the Lord said he was to go down into the cellar, for best wine was still there. They missed the word "the." For best wine was in there. Okay. All right, book, you're drunk. For a long time he would not believe this, but at length he said, "Well, I'll go down, but I know that there is none there." When he turned the tap, however, lo and behold, the best of wine ran out. So he took to them, and the 2 passed the night there. Early the next day our Lord told Gambling Hansel. I have never not gonna love that name. The Lord told Gambling Hansel that he might beg 3 favors. The Lord expected that he would ask to go to heaven, but Gambling Hansel asked for a pack of cards with which he could win everything, for dice with which he could win everything, and for a tree on which every kind of fruit would grow. Sounds good enough to me. And from which no one who had climbed up could descend until he bade him to do so, rather. The Lord gave him all that he had asked, and departed with St. Peter. And now Gambling Hansel at once set about gambling in real earnest, and before long he had gained half the world. Upon this St. Peter said to the Lord, "Lord, this thing must not go on. He will win, and you lose. the whole world. We must send death to him. When death appeared, Gambling Hansel had just seated himself at... Wait. So death, like the Grim Reaper, just physically appeared to Hansel. Okay, so death appeared to Gambling Hansel, because that's his official title. It's on his ID cards. He had just seated himself at the gambling table, and death said, Hansel, why'd you come out for a little while? But Gambling Hansel said, just wait until the game's done. In the meantime, get up into that tree there and gather a little fruit that we may have something to munch on our way. Thereupon, Death climbed... Couldn't Death just, like, summon the fruit down? He's Death, for fuck's sake. Why is he climbing a tree to grab a fucking apple? There's a lot of physical limitations to these supernatural beings and these German fairy tales. It's almost like these people didn't really have comprehensions of anything other than human physical nature. I digress. Anyway, thereupon Death climbed up, but when he wanted to come down again, he couldn't. And Gambling Hansel left him up for 7 fucking years, during which nobody died. Because Death was up in that tree, so everybody's living forever for 7 years, no death. Gambling Hansel, he's got it all figured out. He's smarter than God. So St. Peter said to the Lord, Lord, this thing must not go on. People no longer die. We gotta kill some bitches. And they went themselves, and the Lord commanded Hansel to let Death come down. So Hansel went at once to Death and said to him, Get the fuck out of the tree! God damn! He actually said come down, but I was paraphrasing. And Death took him directly and put an end to him. They went away together and came to the next world, and then Gambling Hansel made straight for the door of heaven and knocked. Who's there? It's Gambling Hansel. Ah, we will have nothing to do with him. Begone. So he went to the door of purgatory and knocked once more. Yeah, this is purgatory. Who's out there? Who's out there? Yo, it's me, Gambling Hansel. What's up? Ah, there's quite enough weeping and wailing here without him. We don't want to gamble. Just get the fuck out of here. Just go away. Go somewhere else. So Gambling Hansel went to the door of hell, and there they let him in. They're nicer in hell. Believe me. There was, however, no one at home but old Lucifer and the crooked devils who had just been doing their evil work in the world. And no sooner was Hansel there than he sat down to gamble again. Lucifer, however, had nothing to lose but his misshapen devils, and Gambling Hansel won them from him, as with his cards he could not fail to do. And now he was off again with his crooked devils, and they went to Hohenfurt, and pulled up a hot pole, and with it went to heaven and began to thrust the pole against it, and heaven began to crack. So again, St. Peter said, Lord, this thing cannot go on. We must let him in, or he'll throw us down from heaven. And they let him in. But Gambling Hansel instantly began to play again, and there was such a noise and confusion that there was no one hearing what they themselves were saying. Therefore St. Peter once more said, Lord, this cannot go on. We must throw him down, or he will make all heaven rebellious. So they went to him at once and threw him down, and his soul broke into fragments and went into the gambling vagabonds who are living to this very day. You can all take away a little something from that story. No matter if you cheat at cards or trick God into doing something fucking stupid, you're a real winner. You can get away with fucking murder if you really want.